how have you seen it change from 2008 to 2015?
One, the technology changed, which I think is really important. Back at the beginning, we were thinking of a web-based product in some way that would be maybe it was a little vast, and like how do you just narrow that down? And just even in the collecting elements and parts of our research and photographs and rehearsal videos and audio, there was just a room full of stuff. So I think over time and the development of digital books, the idea of maybe it's not so much everything, but very pointed looks at particular aspects of our process. And by this time we were working on a history, which premiered in 2012, and it seemed maybe this was the connection. And actually,
well, I think they started together.
That's true.
I think this whole idea of dance for it and a history evolved, but it was always a notion that we were creating an access portal, this idea of what is our process, and also this notion of archive and what's the information that dancers carry in their bodies. And because initially we weren't creating a dance piece. That was the whole big issue. We really wanted to, I was very curious as the dramaturg about, my process is very invisible. I am behind the scene, And it was curious, and it's become a bigger idea, this notion of dance dramaturgy, and people, well, what is that? What do you actually do? How do you actually sort of work in the room? And so for me, I was very invested in this idea of sort of collecting, my collaborative history, a series of templates and archives and documents that, I've sort of amassed over the years, and that would be an important part of this conversation with two of the dancers, Daryl Jones and Angie Heuser. What information do they carry? They have journals, this idea of choreography in the body, this history and this information. And then of course Bebe has, immense amounts of video and journals and documents and knowledge and history that, we've never actually written down. We go from project to project. And so it's just, sitting there in a way until, 50 years from now, someone comes back, well, what were they actually doing? So I think it really was about a way of being proactive in a way and thinking about, can we create some type of access to our actual way of working, not just what's written on the paper, but that they could really figure out and see our exchange, our conversations, our language. So, these ideas started helping us think about ways of collecting that.
And it also brought us to the performance piece itself. That I think that's an important thing to know, that at a certain point we said, we really are makers, so maybe while we're making and while we're reflecting backwards, we might be making something that moves forward, and that the making of the thing that moves forward is looking backwards. Kind of like
But it's a new thing.
But it's a new thing, so.